Muzuile Chwani, good afternoon, Zambia. Well, in today's live stream, we are going to be talking about Faith Musonda, her partners, and basically the Zambia Development Agency. Because, as you know, Faith Musonda was working for Zambia Development Agency, a few years or months back. So, today's topic is mostly going to be dealing with, another important aspect or rather development which is coming in at this particular moment because we obviously saw some reports with regards to the upcoming gold, copper, silver, and company which is going to be sort of creating a processing plant here in Zambia. But the thing is, there is going to be 90% shareholding ownership, which is going to be, belonging to South Africans, while Zambians are only going to be able to own 10% of that particular company. And this is a very big deal because of late Zambians have been talking about the importance of ownership and the importance of Zambians being able to run and do their own thing. But at this particular moment, right, we are seeing Zambia get to repeat its past mistakes. I mean, we've seen this over and over for the past 20-30 years, right? We obviously saw different foreign investors get to invest a little bit of money and then siphon all the resources out of Zambia. So everything is intertwined, everything is interconnected. And by the way, I'm not really here to paint Faith Musonda or rather label her as a villain, because she is innocent until proven guilty. So all these talks that we're going to be having, this is not really concerned with Faith Musonda, and she's absolutely not going to she's innocent until proven guilty. But I'm just going to be talking about these things because she opened up Pandora's box, and there's a lot of lessons that we can get to learn from this particular topic and subject. So at this particular moment, I really hope you are sharing this video, because we are going to be talking about some eye-opening stuff, and especially the youths out there, okay? Because we're going to be looking at some documentations coming from the Zambia Development Agency, and we're also going to look at what we did wrong in history. All right, so before we begin this particular episode and with all the things that we're going to be discussing, right, I want you to share this video on your timeline. Share this video in all the different groups. I want you to share this video in about 5 to 10 different groups, because we are going to be talking about a whole lot. But before we do that, right, let's listen to Nathan Nyirenda's song Mwema Kofi. And then we're going to listen to some more stuff. So we have a lot of things to unpack. So this is going to be so very jam-packed. So first of all, while you are sharing this live stream, let's listen to Nathan Nyirenda.
Umufundo ponse wanyanta imiti namane mpanga umutata kuya amabwena yo minta pendwa nababo mfili bumba lelo bunonshi wabafye pamapepala infula kwena ila loka umutende twimba pofye pefye lelo tushala pofyende chi songomo kanwa mwema kufi endi mwinenuka.
Okay, so that was an interesting verse from Nathan Nyirenda's Mwema Kofi. The fact of the matter is, we are blessed in Zambia and we have a lot of resources. We also have a lot of prowess to really get to turn our company all around. Okay, so the reason why I need to talk about Zambia Development Agency and Faith Musonda and how these deals are obviously brought about is due to the fact that there is a direct correlation. Because yesterday, Zambia Development Agency had to put up a statement saying Faith Musonda is no longer an an employee of the Zambia Development Agency. Miss Musonda, who served as a communications and public relations manager, joined ZDA on December 17th, 2018 and separated from the agency on June 17th, 2020 following her recognition. So this particular headline is very important. She was the communications and public relations manager. So basically these people are exposed to a lot of people who are willing to invest in Zambia, especially with regards to mining, minerals, and all that stuff. So now that you understand where I'm coming from, right, and you see the correlation of the recent happenings with regards to the money that was allegedly, reportedly discovered at her place, right, you see that she has exposure to people who are capable of setting up mines and getting these licenses and basically dealing in this particular type of industry. Now let's move over to today's topic and discussion, because I want to talk about this particular topic because it is something which is very, very important for us. So there's a company, now Import and Export Zambia Limited, a private limited company with 90% South African and 10% Zambian shareholding, plans to initially invest $20 million for setting up a copper, cobalt, silver, and gold processing plant in Chongwe and Mukushi district. The investment venture is expected to create 1,210 jobs. 90% of the jobs will be for Zambians. Now, Import and Export Zambia Limited will conduct its mining activities in 3 phases. The first phase will focus on trading for 1 year to create a base for local suppliers, setting up with 6 buying stations across Zambia, setting up a new copper processing plant, concentrate, cathode, and blister, setting up a gold processing plant, setting up a zinc processing plant, preparation to set up 10 mobile mining sites for surface mining, preparing portfolio for investment into exploration of gold, copper, and cobalt mining as well. So the most important thing is, if you look at the shareholding of this particular venture, 90% of the shareholding is going to go to South Africans. Only 10% is going to go to Zambians, okay? But if you look at what we are going to get as a country and what they are going to benefit from this particular deal, right? We are obviously going to be getting a raw deal. A lot of times we say God has blessed us with all these natural resources and all these things, right? But we are failing to manage it. And if you look at the investment, the initial investment that these people are going to be investing, a lot of them are they are going to initially invest $20 million into setting up this particular venture, which is very, very, it's not really that expensive. Zambians can actually get to come up with this particular money, because if you look at Faith Musonda's money that she was found with, that's equivalent to about $5 million. One Faith Musonda has got exposure to about $5 million. Surely, as a country, are you meaning to tell me that in order for us to raise $20 million, right, we need 90% ownership from South Africans? Can't we do this ourselves? It is very possible to raise a $20 million and 100% on this particular processing plant, and we've got the capabilities to actually get to do this. So basically, if we get to do simple mathematics, 20 million, right? Let's say, for example, we get to allow the 2.8 million people who voted for Hakainde Hichilema. I'm just using the 2.8 million so that you can have a perspective of how feasible raising a $20 million is. So now let's divide $20 million by 2.8 million people who voted for President Hakainde Hichilema, and how much that is going to be. So $20 million divided by 2.8 million people. Okay, so that's 20 million divided by 2.8 million people. This is going to be $7.14. So in order for $2.8 million in order for 2.8 million people to raise a $20 million in Zambia, each one of those people has to contribute about $7.14. if the 2.8 million people who voted for Haka in the Hichilema had to contribute $7.14 to contribute to this particular amount, which these people are going to be sort of, raising to initially start the whole process, right? This particular amount of money is going to amount to the needed money to set up the gold, cobalt, silver, and copper processing plant. So now let's convert this into kwacha, because if we use dollars, it's going to be very blurry. So now let's multiply $7.14 by today's foreign exchange with regards to the dollar. So let's multiply this by $16.60 per kwacha. So 7.14 multiplied by 16.60. So this is the amount of kwacha that we need to raise. 118 kwacha, 120 kwacha by 2.8 million people. So are you telling me that the 2.8 million people who voted for President Haka in the Hichilema are incapable of contributing 120 kwacha in order for Zambians to 100% on and run this particular business or this particular copper, cobalt, silver, and gold processing plant? So now you tell me, based on these facts, are we unable to crowd fund and raise this amount of money so that we can have 100% ownership? And you already know the perks of having majority shares when it comes to a very significant investment like this, because all of a sudden, right, as a nation, we were very happy saying, okay, not Sanga gold, not Sanga mananya, we've got all these mineral resources. So when are we going to start benefiting from all the mineral resources that we have? And the other thing is, this amount of money that these particular people are going to be investing is some money that we can actually get to raise on our own, getting to crowdfund it and getting to sort of find the resources, which is absolutely feasible. Even a few people in Zambia are capable of getting to invest into this particular amount of money. Now, I understand you are looking forward to, getting to understand the correlation between Faith Musonda, ZDA, and Akazaga Kandalama, because everything is interconnected. And, well, let's just continue talking about this. But first of all, let me play you a very important clip, because I want you to get where I'm coming from. So let's listen to Bishop Tuda Bismarck, who was talking about what the MMD during, Chiluba's era did with regards to managing our copper mines. So this was obviously done a long time ago. So now let's listen to this.
The Zambian government, Bishop, sold the copper mines in northern Zambia to an outside consortium for $25 million. The copper mines for $25 million. Because they couldn't manage to keep them. The company that came in and took over the Zambian copper mines in 3 months made a profit of $75 million. They did not pay the Zambian government upfront in cash for the mines. They were going to pay them over a period of time. Here we have this company that has an understanding.
Same mistake that we're repeating. Okay, these people are initially investing $20 million, and then once they do the explorations, the processing, they are going to invest some more money. So basically, they're going to be using the money that they are going to be getting from our mineral resources to fund this particular venture. So basically, we are repeating the same mistakes that we did 20, 30 years ago. When are we going to learn? Let's continue listening.
Of how things work, raised the money at the government's expense, took money that the company should have, the government should have been making, and gave it back to the government and said, we paid our debt in full, and give them now 0.006% of the proceeds of copper mining. When right outside the door there's people in poverty, people in not eating, people ignorant, people dying, high levels of AIDS. And what's the deal? Churches are full, people are praising God, Africans pray all night. Prayer is not in the success equation. Prayer is in the revelation equation. Decision making is in the success equation. You have to
You heard what he said, right? Decision making is in the success equation. Me and my fellow youths were tired of praying and always sort of, seeking God's intervention, because we are basically just being ignorant and repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. So at this particular moment, right, we just need to avoid the mistakes that we made previously. And this time around, right, especially you who are watching, the youths, Zambian citizens, we have to really follow up what is especially happening at organizations such as the Zambia Development Agency, because this is where people like Faith Musonda are able to network and come up with these deals. This is where they are getting, all these perks and all these connections and contacts. So if you people were wondering, saying, where did Faith Musonda, a mere journalist, get all these connections? It's because of them being able to network and be able to make these type of arrangements, okay? Because as you can see, she was the public and communications relations manager at ZDA not so long ago. So this is the source. So this is one of the reasons why we seriously need to keep a close eye on the Zambia Development Agency. And I'm not here to tarnish the Zambia Development Agency, because they might be doing a very good, legit work. But, we just have to be able to find out who is able to facilitate such a colossal discrepancy in terms of the ownership. Are we unable to be able to have 60 to 40% ownership when it comes to this particular process? Who's absolutely giving a go ahead to these particular type of deals? Who's authorizing such particular deals to happen? Did they consult the people of Zambia? Did they do what they have to do in order for them to first of all fail to raise the $20 million? So we really need to find out what exactly is happening at the Zambia Development Agency, because this is where everything is being done. So as you can see, right, a lot of Zambians are pretty much pissed off. A lot of Zambians are upset. As you can see, let's just read some of the comments. Fraser Mushibwe said, the percentage shareholding of 90% foreign and 10% Zambian is ridiculous. Scrap this nonsense, ZDA, as we the Zambians can form such a company 100% Zambian. Where is the patriotism? Baron Banda says, which Zambian was negotiating this deal on behalf of Zambia? Lesa Alitupela Ama resources, and we are failing to even negotiate properly. So it's just an issue of negotiating and being able to sort of come up with proper type of negotiations. And let me just be honest with you. Somebody had to, give a go-ahead to this particular South African company to own 90% of the shares. So who's that person? Who's authorizing such type of, shareholding, allocation? Who's presiding over these types of decisions? Okay, so if you look at such type of activities, this is one of the reasons why we never ever develop, because the people who are making decisions are making poor decisions, or they are bad at negotiating. And this is one of the reasons why people like that person who was found with Akasaga Kandalama, they are able to exploit and come up with deals, because for them to allocate this 90% sharing, there's no way. Resources, there's no way you are the owners of the resources, right? And you're being allocated 10% as shareholders. Granted, we have, or rather we're going to have 1,210 jobs. 1,210 jobs can actually be paid if Zambians literally run this. Maybe you might be saying we do not have the expertise. Well, we have a lot of educated Zambians. We've got a lot of students out there and a lot of Zambians who are capable of seeing that this particular processing plant is fully operational and making a whole lot of profit. So if you look at what we are going to get as Zambia in comparison to what they are going to get out of Zambia, you can't even compare. It's incomparable. And by the way, if you look at the mines, the minerals which are going to be sort of obtained, right? copper, cobalt, silver, and gold. For crying out loud, gold. In the next 5 to 10 years, right, this company is going to extract minerals worth 50 billion US dollars. 50 or to about 100 billion US dollars and all that stuff. So if you look at what we are going to be receiving as a nation, it is absolutely incomparable. So my only question is, who is presiding over such negotiations, and why are Zambians only able to get 10% when we are the owners? And the other thing is, we have the capability of raising the $20 million initial investment that these people are setting up. So Zambia Development Agency, we need serious answers. And so far, you've got a shady track record, because Faith Musonda is actually attached to your company, because she previously worked there. So if you really get to dig in, there's a lot of stuff going on at Zambia Development Agency, and we need to be very, very vigilant. Of course, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Perhaps there is just some negotiating things that we do not know. So this is one of the reasons why we need the current communications and public relations manager to come out and explain to us thoroughly. So here there is an email. Laura Mushaukwa is the one who replaced Faith Musonda, right? Because Faith Musonda was the one who was the communications and the public relations manager for ZDA. So what we need to do is we need to ask Laura Mushaukwa Hamasute to really give us and clarify all these things and the shareholding and why they were given 90%. So you have her email. I want the people watching this particular episode to send her emails. Inquire why Zambians are only getting 10% of the shareholding, because this is her job. Her job is a communications and public relations manager. So she is the face of ZDA, and this is the current position that Faith Musonda was occupying. So we need answers and as Zambians, and we need to find out what exactly is going on. Were Zambians unable to raise the 20 million US dollars, and how come we are allocating 90% shareholding rights to the South African company? This is what we need to get from Laura Mushaukwa Hamasute. So this is her email. All the vigilant Zambians, all the people, Unza, Kubasu, and all the responsible citizens, if you really love Zambia, if you really want your children to prosper, right, I want you to send an email to Laura Mushaukwa so that she can, clarify and give us reasons why we are having such developments, because clearly Zambians can raise the 20 million US dollars and we can actually set up our own gold and processing, mining company, because we don't really need to raise a lot of money. The 2.8 million people who voted for President Hakainde Hichilema can actually get to sort of raise that amount of money. So obviously these deals were done a little bit earlier. They were done before the elections, and this is one of the reasons why we're actually getting to see these deals sort of follow through. So the bargaining process has been done a long time ago. So this is one of the reasons why we really need to keep an eye with what's happening at the Zambia Development Agency, because territory ya Faith Musonda. Faith Musonda. So we need to find out what's happening. So let's look at some more comments. Nason Vimbe says it would have been nice to add more details of who the investors are in the about section, where you have put a brief section about ZDA. Please provide us as much information as necessary for transparency's sake. As can be seen from the post, Zambians are no longer interested in foreign investors. It is ancient. Forex will still go outside of the country, find a way of creating companies, and later sell some shares to both locals and foreigners as well. Chiti Kabango says, this is nonsense. 90% shareholding to foreigners, 10% Zambians. Then the first phase is going to be involved trading, hence raising the same 20 million US dollars. We do not want the KCM scenario here. These chaps are opportunists. They don't even have the same 20 million. They plan to use our resources to fundraise under the disguise of investing. We can do better. So people already know these games. Like, we've been seeing these games over and over again. This is the same, games from the same playbook. So we cannot really afford to make such lousy mistakes. This is very incompetent. This is the most lousiest thing that I've ever seen, and especially due to the fact that Zambia has had history of making such mistakes again. And we're not only just talking about copper, we're talking about freaking gold, for crying out loud. We're talking about gold. GOLD. This is a big deal. Talk about cobalt. Cobalt is the next big thing, because electrical vehicles are going to be the next big thing. So, so Zambia is, sitting on a lot of cobalt. Zambia and Congo are sitting on a lot of cobalt. So there's no way we can be giving out cheap this amount of shareholding and, basically relinquishing our rights to 100% ownership, because this is our only opportunity to vindicate ourselves and make ourselves even financially better. But what we are doing is absolutely incompetent. So my only question is, who is responsible for allocating 90% shareholding to a foreign company, and were Zambians unable to raise the $20 million which is needed initially for this processing plant to be set up? If that is the case, right, I already gave you the blueprint. In order for Zambians to raise the 20 million US dollars, right, we only need 120 kwacha. 120 kwacha from 2.8 million people who, for example, voted for Haka in the Hichidama. Once I got to a song of 120 million, 120 kwacha, right? Everybody is going to be able to contribute to the raising and the fundraising for the 20 million US dollars. So takulia Zambians can't be able to afford to do these things. But what usually happens is when setting up these deals, right, there are obviously some backdoor negotiations. There are obviously some shady things happening, because there's absolutely no way we can get 90% ownership by foreign investors. Like, is that even making any sense? So this is one of the reasons why we are actually going to, continue looking at this particular matter. And the public and the communications relations manager, you have a lot of questions to answer. Now that Faith Musonda has opened Pandora's box, because Faith Musonda was the communication and public relations manager, what is exactly happening? So your job is going to be a very sensitive one. So you have to make sure that, everything that's happening at Zambia Development Agency, just, wrap it up and do what you have to do, because this is absolutely insane. This is crazy. So anyway, let's continue listening to Bishop Bismarck, and let's listen to him.
To make a decision and be sound, we have to be disciplined and make sure we go and get what God has called us to get. You can be full of the Holy Ghost, but you can still be ignorant. But as for me and my house, I will get understanding. I will get understanding. I will get understanding. It's time now for us to rise up and be counted. This year, the country of Ghana turns 50. Ghana was born the same year we were born, in 1957. Ghana and South Korea had their independence dates on the same day, the same year. But look where South Korea is. South Korea is by nature not a Christian nation. South Korea by nature are Buddhists. China, which is the next large world economy, they have stated that in the next 10 years, 20% of the Chinese people will be multimillionaires. That means almost 450 million Chinese will be millionaires. They are not Christians, they are Buddhists. The Japanese are Shintoists. Those in Indonesia and Malaysia are Muslims. It's not about praising God and hallelujah and a great thank you, Jesus. It's about possessing an understanding as to how things work.
Possessing an understanding of how things work. So now, ladies and gentlemen, you tell me, are we ever going to develop as a nation if we continue allowing such things to happen? 90% ownership by a foreign company. We do not have any problems with regards to foreign investors coming to invest in Zambia. Every country needs foreigners and foreign investors to sort of play a role when it comes to development. But what we are saying is there is absolutely no way Zambians can fail to raise a 20 million US dollars. And how possible is it that we, the owners of the land, we preside over this land? God blessed us with this particular land and all its resources. We possess dominion and authority over this land. How come we are only getting 10%? What type of poverty mentality is that, and where are we going? Okay, so at this particular moment, right, we need answers. The Zambia Development Agency and whoever is presiding over these decisions to allocate such shareholding allocations needs to clarify and give us reasons why they were able to allocate 90% to a South African, or a foreign delegation with regards to the shareholding. And why were they able to do that? Is it because we are incapable of doing it by ourselves? Because clearly we are not. I just gave you the blueprint. Just get 2.8 million Zambians to contribute 120 kwacha. 120 kwacha is less than a lot of alcohol that we consume. A lot of people spend more than 1,000 kwacha consuming alcohol. So spending 120 kwacha is absolutely something that is possible. If 2.8 million Zambians are able to contribute 120 kwacha, right, we are going to have 20 million US dollars. We're going to have 100% ownership. We're going to be able to control our minerals. The money is going to stay in Zambia. How difficult is that? Like, this is not even rocket science. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to do this basic math and all that stuff. The only question that comes is who's going to be able to like run and make sure that these particular ventures are successful. So in that particular case, right, we can get to employ them. We can get to employ South Africans so long we own it. We can get to employ people who are competent enough to run it. But I really believe Zambians are capable of doing these things and put on set up a processing plant. So the people who are at CBU, you people who are crying at CBU, ones are saying there's lack of employment, this is one of the reasons why we have low employment in Zambia. So this is one of the reasons why I'm actually reaching out to Unzasu, Kobusu. Start looking at these matters, develop a keen interest, because you are going to be graduating in a few months. You are not really going to have a lot of jobs. And if we set up these processing plants properly, right, the money is going to trickle down in different sectors of society. So not only is the mining sector going to benefit, right, every other aspect or sector in Zambia is going to benefit. Eventually, everybody is going to have equal opportunities to find a job. The living cost of Zambia, or rather the GDP, is going to increase, and people are going to be able to like afford basic lifestyles and basic necessities. We cannot have a situation where Zambia is occupied by graduates. We have people with a lot of degrees and masters, but again, we have only 18 million people in Zambia. If you look at the money that Faith Musonda was having at her house, right, she had 64 million kwacha. If Faith Musonda had to give 1 million kwacha to all the 18 million Zambians, she would still have a lot of money. So are you telling me that if we talk about Zambia, so this is one of the reasons why, especially you, the youths, the citizens of Zambia, and I'm so happy and so appreciative of the fact that people are beginning to notice these discrepancies. People are able to air their frustrations and call a spade a spade. Because if you look at these comments on the Zambia Development Agency, they are clearly negative, and Zambians do not want this. And this is one of the reasons why we the youths, we voted for the New Dawn government, so that such type of activities wouldn't be happening. So this is one of the reasons why, if you took the time, you stood in a long queue for 8 to about 3 hours, 3 hours to about 8 hours just to vote, you need to be very vocal. You need to act. Stop being a keyboard warrior. You need to actually go to Zambia Development Agency right now. Go and ask this Laura, this Miss Laura, and get the answers. because this is one of the reasons why we brought in a new leadership, so that we can actually get to do things differently. So if we are repeating the same mistakes from 20 years ago, what are we doing? What are we doing if we keep on rinsing and repeating the same thing? If we never learn from our mistakes. We've seen this thing play over and over again. Let me just play one more time.
The Zambian government, Bishop, sold the copper mines in northern Zambia to an outside consortium for $25 million. The copper mines for $25 million because they couldn't manage to keep them. The company that came in and took over the Zambian copper mines in 3 months made a profit of $75 million. They did not pay the Zambian government up front in cash for the mines. They were going to pay them over a period of time.
Exactly the same playbook, the same type of situation. A company comes in, 90% ownership, they get to pay half of the money or whatever, a fraction of the money. Then when they start mining those minerals, they continue paying for the rest. We've seen this over and over. In 2000, I was like 9 years or something. This time around, I've grown. I'm a grown-up person. There's no way I can allow this to happen. We've seen this. We know where it goes. We know how it ends. We know how the cookie crumbles. So this is one of the reasons why I'm actually relying on you. If you're watching this right now, do something about it. I've brought this information. It's now up to you to act. We've got this person. We've got her, details. We need to phone. There's a number there. So start calling right now. There's this number, +260 211 220177. Okay, phone this company. Find out why we are giving 90% ownership to foreigners. Tell them and explain to them the calculations that I gave you. Each Zambian, 2.8 million Zambians, only need to contribute 120 kwacha in order for us to raise the proposed money that these foreigners are going to be investing. We can do this on our own. We've got the capabilities. We've got the prowess. We've got the people who are educated enough. So do something about it. Okay? And if you are kudabwa, a lot of people are saying, where is Faith Musonda getting all these, how is she networking? How is she able to afford to have partners who are able to do these things? It's because she's being found in areas where such activities are being found. Okay, she's exposed to these things. So right now, let me also talk about networking as youths, because a lot of times youths have got a misconception saying, if you want to become financially wealthy, all you have to do in Zambia is, number one, become a politician and get exposed to a lot of different tenders and a lot of different opportunities. There are different legitimate and legal ways to make a lot of money, provided you know how to network. So we can learn a lot of things from Faith Musonda. Okay, Faith Musonda has taught us the potential that people are able to get exposed to and make a lot of money. But of course, we have to do it the right way. There are right and legit ways of doing things. Faith Musonda is probably a very savvy networker, and she knows how to make things happen. But allegedly, and I'm not even saying she is guilty, because everybody is innocent until proven guilty, but we can learn how she networks. We can learn from her, from how she was able to apply herself, but we have to use the legitimate route to do these things. Okay, granted she is guilty or innocent, I don't really care about that. I only care about what I can learn from Faith Musonda. Okay, so what we need to do at this particular moment is we need to figure out ways of adding value and solving our problems. Okay, so be like Faith Musonda. Of course, do the legit way, and basically know who to contact, where to network, and how things are done. So nami pela Zambia Development Agency ekuli akasaka kandala moko. Do what you have to do about it, and start doing things the legit way. So I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear from you right now. How can Zambians reverse this particular activity? Because we've got this conundrum, we've got this predicament. This particular deal has probably gone through. what can we do, you and I, to reverse this particular situation from happening? Because we at least need 40%, or we need 60%. They can get the 40%, we get the 60%. Everybody is happy. At least that's better for our economy. So we need answers at this particular moment. Take action. You right now, call this number, find out, inquire, and perhaps you can be able to get exposed to the Zambia Development Agency, and create your own mine, or do what you have to do. So email laura.mushaukwa.hamasuta, and there's nothing illegal about this, because she put her contact details here so that we can contact her, so that we can find out certain information from her, because she is the communications and public relations manager. So this is her job. Mwila tina yo. Because Mozambia, I understand, we are very meek people. For Zambians, we're very patient, and this is why they take advantage of us, because they know, if Zambians nango fish, there won't be any repercussions, We will just say one or two things to Arisha mo somebody. Oh, and by the way, Utuma backdoor deals. So whoever, if you're able to facilitate such a huge shareholding allocation, kudiam. Okay, so if you look at 90% to about 10%, right, that is clearly not right. So somebody somewhere, by ACCA, if you do your due diligence, if you really follow this, because I know you're very good at following, you'll be able to get to the meat, of this particular deal. So as Zambians, play your role. We need economic emancipation. 1964, we needed freedom. Okay, we got that freedom, but still, so we need economic emancipation, and it's up to you and I as a citizen to play your role. So right now, play your role. Call that number, send an email, ask, and let the Zambia Development Agency clarify this particular situation, and we need answers. There's nothing illegal about what I'm doing. There's nothing sinister about this. I'm just inquiring because I am a Zambian. I deserve to be told, and we're privy to this type of information. So mwiratin. So once about unza kobusu, this is your time to shine. And besides protesting over meal allowances, look at something which is bigger. This particular processing plant can actually afford to provide you with even better meal allowance. So to all the colleges out there, all the student unions, it's your time to shine. It's your time to get involved with, governance issues and actually play your role, because you are the ones who are going to inherit all these, advantages and disadvantages if you do not act. So it's now, right now is the time to do what you have to do. So remember, Faith Musonda was working for this company. Okay? So, so at this particular moment, I would love to remind you to share this video one more time, because we need Zambians to act. We need the right Zambians to be able to do these things and carry the mantle of responsibility. So once Abanat Kulain. Yeah, so it's time we started acting. If you're of course there can be casualties. I could be a casualty, but the journey is going to continue, because if we do not play the role, we're not really going to be economically emancipated if we continue repeating these blatant ignorant mistakes. Okay, so yeah, that's all I had for you, and I'm here to remind you that visit auto.zcorner.com. We are a car listing website. This is the B Forward of Zambia, made by Zambians for Zambians. So if you know anybody who sells cars, if you know anybody who's into importing and selling of cars within Zambia, right, let them contact me. My email is here, so that we can list their cars here, so that we can market for them, because we're very good at marketing. Look at the numbers that we get. So we're going to help them easily list their cars and reach more and more people. So if you happen to be wanting to buy a car, or if you want to sell a car, you can just come to the website, sign in, and register an account. Anybody can register an account and just use it like the way that you use B Forward. So if you use B Forward, this is basically the same platform, but a Zambian version, made and created by Zambians for Zambians. So remember, visit auto.zcorner.com. So just type this in your browser, then it's going to redirect you to this particular website. So that's all I had for you. I'm really looking forward to getting some more answers with regards to this particular situation. So remember, everybody is innocent until proven guilty, and we're not here to witch hunt. So Faith Musonda, if you are watching this particular live stream, or if you're going to be watching it later, we can learn a lot of things from you. I would love to have you on this particular platform so that you can vindicate yourself and get to teach the Zambian youth on how to network, provided everything is legal and legit. Okay, because we're giving you the benefit of the doubt, and at this particular moment you are innocent until proven guilty, and we can really get to learn a lot from you, Faith Musonda. And with regards to the Zambia Development Agency, we need answers. And there's a lot of data which I'm not really going to talk about right now because it's too early, because when it comes to communications, right, there's a lot of or rather the lack of encrypted data. So if you know anything about technology, you know the importance of encryption. So there's obviously access to these things because it's easy to get access to these things. So just make sure that you're doing the right thing and you're not going to be left being vulnerable, because if you're left being vulnerable, your family is going to suffer. So do the right thing, put Zambia first, and then don't be too selfish. And this is the Papa Sana, like, people who make money, why are you so selfish? I mean, like, just money. Don't be too selfish. Don't just think about yourself. Think about the rest of people, because abantu children Mozambique, people are sleeping without having meals. People are sitting on the ground because there's no desks and all that stuff. So don't just think about yourself. Think about everybody else. You've got enough money. Just do the right thing. Let everybody eat. Let everybody prosper, and we prosper as a nation. Don't be too selfish. Yeah, that's all I had for you. So let me just play Nathan Urenda one more time, because this is a very good song for me, and it really ignites the that spirit in us. Now look at this. Nathan Urenda sang this song a long time ago.
Mwelesa wandinga fweniko uchushinsalane chipowe vyaisule chalo chesu konshoko ungaya amalanda no kuilishanya ubupina no kubulilwa vile pongomo kange mfula pakulaya amatonton kanyoya lilembwa pafinso vya makalamba imisepela abaichene fitekwa mwema kufi yandi mwinenuka we mutima wandino besalapuka fi mwandanshi nemi pashia kowela teti fi chimfye lesa wamweo teti fi chimfye lesa wamilalo imimana masabi fya mambwe umufundo ponse wanyanta imiti namane mpanga umutata kuya amabwena yo mintapendwa nababo mfili bumba lelo bunonshi wabafye pamapepala infula kwena ilaloka umutende twimba pofye pefye lelo tushala pofyendechi sungumukanwa mwema kufi teti fichimfye lesa wamilalo ukupepa kwena tula pepa no kufungani pamushi amasambili lonayo nileka ukubomba nako tula bomba gabashana bakabalwe uluchelo akasuba eliono bushiku busheni nkande afita nangula mano ayachepa na chuchuti kamwe tata jebeniko mwema kufi andi mwinenuka we mutima wandino besalapuka fi mwandanshi nemi bashia kowela teti fi chimfye lesa wamweo teti fi chimfye lesa wamilalo mwema kufi yangi mwinenuka we mutima wandino besalapuka fi mwandanshi nemi bashia kowela teti fi chimfye lesa wamweo teti fi chimfye lesa wamilalo fi mwandanshi nemi bashia kowela teti fi chimfye lesa wamweo teti fi chimfye lesa wamilalo.
The Zambian government, Bishop, sold the copper mines in northern Zambia to an outside consortium for $25 million. The copper mines for $25 million because they couldn't manage to keep them. The company that came in and took over the Zambian copper mines in 3 months made a profit of $75 million. They did not pay the Zambian government up front in cash for the mines. They were going to pay them over a period of time. Here we have this company that has an understanding of how things work, raised the money at the government's expense, took money that the company should have, the government should have been making, and gave it back to the government and said, we paid our debt in full, and give them now 0.006% of the proceeds of copper mining. When right outside the door there's people in poverty, people in not eating, people ignorant, people dying, high levels of AIDS, and what's the deal? Churches are full, people are praising God, Africans pray all night. Prayer is not in the success equation. Prayer is in the revelation equation. Decision making is in the success equation. You have to make a decision and be sound. We have to be disciplined and make sure we go and get what God has called us to get. You can be full of the Holy Ghost, but you can still be ignorant. But as for me and my house, I will get understanding.